I was sexually assaulted while home over a break, not by another university student, and the trial of my attacker starts in 2 weeks. This attack took enough from me already. I went to great lengths to be sure I didn't miss a day of school while recovering. I do not want this man to derail my life further by pushing back my graduation date.
It's showtime, folks.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, so you get more fun legal stories straight from Reddit Legal Advice. Hit the subscribe button now. Let's see how this plays out.
I was sexually assaulted while home over a break, not by another university student, and the trial of my attacker starts in 2 weeks. I am a university student about 5 hours driving distance from my hometown where the assault occurred, and I'll need to travel there to testify at the trial. I'd spoken to my advisor and all my professors, notifying them of the days I'd be out, and everyone was understanding, giving me take-home versions of any tests or work I'd be missing. Unfortunately, one of the days I'll likely need to be out coincides with midterms, so my professor was required to get approval from the academic dean and dean of the college to issue a take-home midterm. His request for the take-home midterm was denied, and when it came to the attention of these deans, they contacted all my professors and informed me if I missed that many classes, it would be approximately 2 of each class, maybe 3 depending on some court scheduling, and 4 of another class, but it meets every day of the week. My professors were comfortable marking these as reported absences, which basically means there was a justification like a doctor's note or other official documentation that I showed the deans that I was in fact being called to testify by the defense, so it wasn't even really like I had a choice. I figured that would be enough documentation. The dean said that personal non-medical conflicts could not be counted as reported absences and would be treated as unreported absences, so treated as the same thing as if I just slept through class. They suggested I apply for a leave of absence for the semester because otherwise I'd be dropped from my classes at the 3rd absence and be on probation if dropped from 2 or more classes, school policy. This attack took enough from me already. I went to great lengths to be sure I didn't miss a day of school while recovering. I do not want this man to derail my life further by pushing back my graduation date. That I spoke to the Title IX office who'd promised me they could help, but it turns out their idea of helping was helping me plan my leave of absence. That I do not want to take a leave of absence. All my professors were ready and willing to work with me, and I was and am entirely capable of keeping up with the work. Do I have any legal recourse here against the school? Thank you in advance.
Here is what Reddit Legal Advice Redditors had to say. Reddit main wrote, if it's one of the deans holding up the process, appeal directly, but super politely via email, attaching your proof of court date and OKs from your professors, to the provost or president of the university. There's always an appeal process, informal or formal, at the university, and just because someone's a dean doesn't mean they know what the heck they're doing. Title IX coordinators, despite their "we're here for students" motto, ultimately are there to cover the university's backside in case of protected activity lawsuits, so that they don't lose their federal funding. Same with ombuds. A firmly worded letter from the attorney to the supervisor of the dean denying your request should also do nicely. Colleges hate lawsuits over stupid stuff like this, and I promise you that the administrator who denied your request will catch hell once if it gets escalated. My best to you these next few weeks. Anon97205 wrote, it's more likely that the prosecutor will file a motion to continue the trial until a date that falls during the OP's winter break. The OP should contact the DA's office ASAP. Avocado Seriasom wrote, I'm currently working as a prosecutor. I don't fully understand why you're saying that I was in fact being called to testify by the defense. Since you were the victim, I figure that the state, not the defense, would want to call you, but nevertheless here's my 2 cents. A subpoena is a court order. Failure to comply with a subpoena could result in the judge issuing body attachment, i.e. a warrant, for you, and you being forced to come to court in bracelets. Probably won't happen for you because of the circumstances of your case, but even on a fair number of victims, I've certainly used the tactic before. Moreover, in my jurisdiction at least, there's actually a crime that prosecutors can charge for interfering with compliance with a subpoena. Admittedly though, I've only seen it used against employers who tried firing employees for testifying. Bottom line, call the prosecutor. Explain the situation that you're in. If the prosecutor is at all worth his or her salt, your university will find a way to make proper accommodations for you. Demarley wrote, "The dean is not the top administrator. You need to contact someone higher up. I had a problem with my child's school, so I know what you are going through. Ideally, people should be nice to each other, but that's not reality. Sometimes people, even deans, let their personal views influence their decisions. That may or may not be what's going on here. Perhaps he just has a blanket policy that says if you have court, then it's your problem to deal with. You know you made the bed, now lie in it." Being a victim and needing to go to court is totally different from committing offenses and then having to appear in court. Find the email contact info for as many of the people you can on the above list for your school. Write an email to the lowest person above the dean and copy it to everyone that you can find contact info for. Specifically point out at the end that you are writing this to them, the person right over the dean, and are copying this to those above them. If you need help writing it, let me know. Yakigomi agreed, "This is a really good point. There's a whole gang of people who outrank college deans. Another thing to keep in mind is that college deans aren't usually professional administrators. Typically a dean is a professor with tenure who gives up, often temporarily, their teaching duties to focus on administrative duties. That means that a dean may not even know what the school's official position is in cases like this one. You may find that a provost or the university's president is very surprised and unhappy to hear what the dean is doing." Jeddah Washington also agreed, "This is true. I would call the provost's office and perhaps even the president's office and check with their secretaries or chief of staff about it. Something like this should get flagged and get you out on official business. There is likely some accreditation concerns about absences that long and still attaining a degree, but those offices would be responsible for explaining variations when going through an accreditation audit and have familiarity with the rules far more than an academic dean. Either way, an excusal like this is going to require cooperation from multiple departments above the dean's head, or at least at his same level, that are in different departments, so get the top university folks involved. I can't see them not allowing this unless their accreditation is truly at risk. If they aren't the ones who can fix it, they certainly can point you in the right direction, and it's likely if anyone from that office forwards you via email or phone, other offices often treat it as direct instructions from the president or provost to solve, so it should get solved quickly." Hugo chipped in, "I think the person to contact would be the ombudsman or public advocate. If there's no one there by either title, I would contact someone in student affairs and ask who has an equivalent role. There must be someone whose job it is to look into student complaints. No one wants a lawsuit or negative press to be the first they've heard of a conflict."
This is so wildly helpful, thank you so much. I'm sorry you had to go through whatever trouble that taught you all this useful information, and I'm grateful you've shared it with me. I'll get to work on this right away.
Tristech advised, as others have said, if you go to a public/state school, you can ride this all the way up to the Board of Regents or Chancellor's office, even the governor. If your professors are signing off on it, then there should be no problem. Assuming there is nothing unmentioned in this post, such as a list of previous unexcused absences, of course.
School has barely been in session a month, and in that time I've only missed one class, food poisoning, excuse note, so I am set on that front. I've got a list now, largely thanks to this above commenter, of the hierarchy, and I'm ready to move up it. Thanks.
Monkeyman88956 wrote, to add to that, if this is a public/state university, contacting state senator/rep's office to ask for help is not an unreasonable step. They are willing to help and make phone calls to state agencies on behalf of constituents to state institutions/organizations.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Hit the subscribe button now.
Thanks to everyone's terrific advice, I got my university's ombudsman involved, and also reached out to a local survivors group, similar to RNN, who connected me to a wonderful attorney who facilitated between me and the legal services team at my school. Within a day of meeting with the school's general counsel, my attorney and I were invited to meet with the deans who had made the initial decision. One of my professors also apparently saw my legal advice post and put two and two together. My professors were not previously aware of the full extent of what was going on, and he and my other professors submitted a letter on my behalf protesting the administration's decision, copying the board, ombudsman, legal counsel, and high-level members of the administration, which was so incredibly touching. I am still overwhelmed and trying to properly thank them. Between my professor's incredible gesture and my showing up with an attorney raising flags, at the meeting I was given carte blanche to work out the details of my absences between myself and my professors. I'll take them at school, just early, and two were able to give me modified assignments that could be done at home but still exemplified the same knowledge and skill sets. The ombudsman and the legal counsel assured me they are looking into the policy that caused this ordeal in the first place, the ombudsman in making sure the policy is being correctly and reasonably enforced, that is, not used to coerce students into violating a subpoena, and the legal counsel is advising the administration on new guidelines for the policy so no one else has to experience this going forward. Thank you everyone here who took time to give me such helpful advice. I appreciate all of you.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, so you get more fun legal stories straight from Reddit Legal Advice. Hit the subscribe button now.